Hey guys, thanks for coming to listen to AVDP. I was going to not do an episode today because things didn't work out and I didn't get a guest. Hart is busy and no one was available. It was Halloween, so nobody was available to come. So I toyed with the idea of doing it by myself, just talking for an hour and a half. I don't know if I could do that or not. It might be kind of lame. So I just kind of said, I resigned the fact of just skipping this week and not doing one. But then I thought, some other podcasts have done this before where they simply rebroadcast another episode that's, important to them or relevant in some way. So I thought that it would be fun to do that. So this episode of AVDP is actually not a new episode. It's the first episode we ever did. It's me and Yuri, and it's episode 1. And a lot of people who maybe started listening to us, after episode 1 didn't go back and listen to them all, and, you're not supposed to. I don't go back and listen to podcasts because, they come out often enough that you just listen to the new ones. But in this case, maybe it'd be fun to listen to what we were thinking, a little over a year ago when we first came up with the idea, and everything was really fresh. I hope you enjoy it. And if you've listened to it before, then just pretend we didn't have one this week, and we will be back on next week with a brand new podcast. Thanks a lot. This is the very first Angry AVD Agree or Die podcast.
My name's Yuri Supanitsky.
It's my boy Yuri. Been knowing him for a million years.
Long time. It's 3 little kids.
We've been talking about making a podcast for a long time. So I said, fuck it, let's make a podcast. So we're just going to talk about some topics. Maybe eventually get a theme song. We're shooting for about an hour. I don't know how long it's going to be yet. This is our first one.
Eventually get people to write in, have comments, topics, questions, anything you want to talk about, anything you think we should talk about. But for right now, first episode, pretty free-flowing, recent events. I've been a little busy, so...
Let's talk about how and why you've been busy.
Yeah. So I've been busy. I've been taking the bar exam. Finished law school up this year and been studying for the last 2 months for the bar exam. It's a nightmare. There's really no way to describe how bad it is. Imagine the worst of your life. You wake up every day, you're depressed, you got nothing to do, but you got everything to do. Everything is a bleak nightmare. You don't want to cook, you don't want to do anything.
What do you mean you got nothing to do, but everything to do?
Because you got so much to do.
You're paralyzed.
You're paralyzed by it, It doesn't even matter. Which of the 20 topics that I have to memorize do I want to start with today? It's horrible. But anyway... I'll just tell you quick, it's over now, but I want to tell you about this process and a little bit about what makes me upset about it. So, the first day of the bar exam is called, the essay day. It's where you do essays, you do them in this program called ExamSoft. Now, first of all, I want to tell you that in order to take the bar alone, you got to pay $500. Real good deal to take this test that you might fail, whatever. But just to use your own computer... and not have to have them read your chicken scratch handwriting, you got to pay an additional $100 to use your own computer and let them put ExamSoft on your computer.
So you could opt to just handwrite the exam.
Yeah, if you're...
Now, if you handwrote the exam and turned it in, you'd have no issues. That's actually kind of interesting.
Except for you wouldn't be able to finish in time because nobody handwrites their exam. You're graded on a curve, and nobody handwrites as fast as they can type with as much efficiency.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you're going to get to the part where you can't turn in your exam.
Yeah.
But if you handwrote it, you could have turned it in.
That's true. I could have just handed it in like a child.
Does anybody handwrite it?
Most people don't choose to handwrite.
Did anybody handwrite it in your session?
Yes, because their computer's crashed.
God, that's fucked.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying, you take ExamSoft, and basically what it does is it locks your computer down. You can't access the internet, you can't access anything else. You're only in this one program where you got to type the exam. It's really stressful because also it's not guaranteed to work, and it could crash your computer at any time. And you don't get to really test it out very much because you can only use it for the exam. So they give you one mock exam to pretend like you start the exam, and then you do it, and then you shut it back down. But really, that's it. You have no trial runs. You don't know how it's going to affect your computer on the day. And if it shuts down, you're game over. You handwrite, even if you're unprepared.
Well, how do you get it off?
What do you mean?
When you're done with the exam, what happens?
You hit exit and save, and then it goes, are you sure you're done? Are you sure you want to exit and save?
Because you can never open it again.
You can't ever open it again. And there's this great moment where your whole computer freezes. And the little wheel, if you got a Mac, the little wheel spins. and it just spins for about 30 seconds.
Oh, that's a long time.
And then you don't know what's happening, and then it shuts off, and you hope it's saved.
Yeah, you can't check.
No, you can't check. In fact, mine even said, saving, quit unexpectedly. So I had no idea. Luckily, it saved. It did save.
Oh, God.
But so here's what you gotta do. You gotta take it, you take it home because they have no internet there, so they say. They have no internet there. And you gotta take it home, hold your computer. You can't bring your bookcase, your laptop bag either, because they don't let those in the building. So you gotta hold on to your laptop in your arms while you're walking out of the room, praying nobody knocks into you like a big oaf. You get home, and you gotta upload it right away. You're like, oh man, I get this off my computer. Because let me tell you, if you don't upload by 9 p.m., according to the Minnesota Board of Law Examiners, who runs the whole show, you fail. You get a 0. Right? So I get home to upload. Can't do it. No uploading. Upload, fail. I get 30 emails saying you failed. I can't do it. My girlfriend can't do it. Texting people I know. Nobody can do it. First we're saying, like, okay, whatever. What's going on? Checking the Twitter of the company, this ExamSoft. Sorry guys, we got some server issues. Let me stop you there. You've got one job today. Your job is to upload these exams, which are, by the way, Word documents. These aren't video games. This isn't Diablo 3 or, the launch of Halo.
Yeah.
You don't need some kind of crazy servers. They're megabytes here.
No, probably 500 kilobytes.
Yeah.
Even. I mean, a million of those is...
Their servers can't handle the capacity.
It's too much.
So they can't upload our exams. Our exams aren't uploading. A few lucky people can get through. Most people can't. So if I had a week to do this, I wouldn't be stressed. But I got to go back and take another test tomorrow. So one, I'm not getting to study right now. I'm not getting to relax and refresh. And two, the Minnesota board says get it in by 9 or you're screwed. Now, Minnesota Board of Law Examiners aren't emailing back to us. They're not responding. Nobody can get a hold of them. So all we know is if we don't get it in by 9, at this point, we fail. Right? ExamSoft, the company, their Twitter and Facebook are working overtime going, don't worry, we're working on it. We got server issues. Everybody's furious. This is nationwide is going on. It's all over the place. Finally, we see reports coming in that other states, not Minnesota, we're in Minnesota, by the way, have started extending their deadline to the next day. No word from Minnesota. Time is ticking down. It's 8:30 now. No word. I can't get my exam in. My girlfriend can't get her exam in.
If you don't get it in, what happens? You fail, you have to retake it, or what, next year?
You take it in February.
Okay.
So, even now, even if I take it now, I don't know if I pass till October. So I just have to wait till February, retake it. It's a nightmare. It's the most stressful situation. And yeah, I know you're saying now, well, of course they're going to extend it. Like, they're not going to make everybody fail. You don't know. All I'm seeing is other states extending their time past their time. But Minnesota hasn't said anything. No report. So 9:40 comes along. I've officially failed at this point because Minnesota hasn't said anything. And I don't have my exam uploaded. So I'm convinced I'm done. It's game over.
Ugh.
Finally, at 10:30, ExamSoft tweets out, Minnesota bar extended to the next day. Also, they recorrected an hour later, only to 8 a.m., not 8 p.m. So we're all freaking out. People are staying up all night till 3 a.m. to upload.
Just clicking upload?
Just clicking upload. I get mine in about like 10:30, I think. Horrible experience. Imagine the most stressful experience of your life. And the worst part is, I got to go back the next day and take another 200 question multiple choice test. Okay. No time to relax. So here's what I don't fucking get. How do you test your servers? What are servers when it comes to shit like this? When you're a company whose one job is to prepare for this, whether it's a video game company, an exam company, anybody whose job relies on servers, what are you doing? Are you even testing it?
You got one day. Now, usually it goes fine. This year was just like, what, a hurricane? What the fuck is going on?
There were some problems last year, apparently, too. So this is not totally unexpected. But nothing like this. This was on the national news.
Why can't you guys, once you all get your bar pass and you're all lawyers, just sue the fuck out of this company?
I promise you, there will be lawsuits.
Fuck them.
Somebody will fail.
Fuck those guys, man.
And they will sue. Because imagine if you had slept the whole night and gotten a good night's sleep, and you take the test the next day, and you think you would have passed. But the people who didn't get a good night's sleep, who didn't get to study, they might have lost the 10 points that could have gotten them a pass.
Because they were so stressed.
So stressed and so tired.
Staying up so late.
Yeah,
man. Sue them, man.
And here's the other thing. If this company is back next year, what do you do? I mean, how do you bring back a company that fails on this epic level when it's your one job?
There's got to be a competing company.
I don't know what it is.
Good time for a competing company to come on and do the same thing.
I never understand how there's this type of monopoly, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's one company only, and it is responsible for every law student's fucking test.
Yeah. Monopolies in general, I don't get. I mean, for example, like, you know, we're here in Minnesota, we've got Excel as a monopoly for utilities, right? But that's fine because they're a regulated industry. But what I don't understand is the monopolies of cable companies. And I think that brings us into our next topic here.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about Comcast a little bit. This is something I want to talk about. Currently, I went on a quest to get as far away from Comcast as possible.
You like that segue, by the way, right?
Love that segue.
Sick segue.
Yeah. So Comcast is, you know, they're a piece of shit. I hate them a lot. I've hated them for years. I have no choice but to hate them for years. Mm-hmm. There's, you know, I'm trying to kind of be unbiased. I mean, here's the thing. Right now, we're on the internet.
Yeah.
It works fine. For the most part, it works fine, and it works. The one time it doesn't work, I fucking flip, and it pissed as hell, and it's Comcast's fault. But really, generally, it always works, and it's fine. So I'm trying not to be too, you know, up their ass about it, but I try to get cable. I have internet, but I mean cable TV.
Yeah.
So I had satellite this whole time, because I was on a deal with my dad, whatever, and then my dad's like, we're not going to do it anymore, you're on your own.
Yeah.
So I had to go get cable. And I call Comcast, and then here's the process. You call them on the phone, and it's an automated service, of course. Mm-hmm. So the automation says to me, you know, press 1 for internet, press 2 for cable. Okay, 2. Then you go into this other automated room, and the voice just starts telling me, most problems with your cable could be solved by power cycling your cable box.
On and off, yep.
And I'm like, well, I don't have a problem. I want to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I don't fucking have it. Why are you telling me this? So I'm like listening to it. I was like, okay, so it's a full 2-minute long speech. How to power cycle your cable.
Let me, real quick pro tip, not to interrupt you. I found this out recently. There are apps out there that you can download.
I heard about it.
That will, basically anything you call, they will do all the button pushing for you. I don't know how it works.
How do they know how to push?
I have no idea. But somehow it works. And they will alert you when a person comes in the line. And then you can hop on your phone.
That's a fucking sick
Real
idea.
pro tip, yeah.
That's pro.
That's pro.
So yeah, so you go through that whole thing, and then it's like, okay, then it's like, okay, if that's not your issue, press 2. I'm like, well, okay, why don't you say press 2 if it's not your issue right away?
Yeah.
All right, press 2. So whatever, you finally get to a guy, start talking to him about cable. It's like $60 a month for cable.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Right, and then the installation fee, because I don't have the right shit, is, he says $32.
Yeah.
Okay, that's, you know, okay. I'm like, fine, fuck it, let's do it. Set it up. So he's like, how about this Friday? I'm like, yeah, okay. So he sets it all up for me. I'm ready to go. Call drops. Now, I'm not saying that's their fault. Yeah. Probably my fault, because I'm on the cell phone. They're on the landline. Okay, call dropped. Now, I'm frustrated, though. There's no way for me to get back to where I was.
He doesn't give you his number.
No, I got to start all over again.
Yeah.
So I call him back. I press 2. I listen to that fucking thing again.
Yeah.
How to power cycle my modem. This time I'm trying to press 2. You can't press 2. Not until you say it. I mean, you can, but it doesn't do anything. It's still, then power cycle it, then wait 30 seconds. I'm like, fuck, again? Okay, 2 more minutes go by, I do that. Press 2, finally get to a human being. It's a woman this time. Tell her my whole story. Now, hilariously, the installation fee is $35. Which is just a little bit different than $32. I'm like, well, it was $32 last time. She goes, can you please hold? I'm like, oh, okay. Click. Okay, that's fine. $32 is fine. Yeah. I'm like, oh, is it fine? How about $30? Is that fine too? Let
me tell you real quick. So I was working to get my cable myself earlier, like a couple months ago when I moved to my new place. So my apartment building puts me in touch with a guy. I can get directly talk to a guy so I can avoid what you're doing, right? So I call the guy and I'm like, well, here's what we're looking for. He's like, well, let me throw a bunch of plans at you. So he's throwing numbers at me. I'm like on the phone. I'm like, I'm driving at this point. My girlfriend's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. I'm like, well, can you just send me this information? He's like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, what do you mean? He's like, we're not allowed to disclose our pricing. I go, well, you're telling me.
You're literally disclosing it right this
second. Yeah, you're disclosing. I'm like, could you type it up for me and just send it to me? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. And I'm realizing that they have ranges of pricing.
They have exactly.
Yeah. They're making it up as they go.
Yep.
Because I called, because this guy's fucked around with me for a while, screwed me over, didn't talk to me for a week, horrible. Called finally the company, different prices, completely different prices. Yeah.
So my story, let me shorten it up.
Yeah.
This call also drops. I get back to the third time, and the price is $33 now. It's almost as if they can choose to charge me $30 to $40.
Yep.
And anything that's like extra, above 30, is a tip for them. Or something like that. So they try to go, how about 33? How about 34? And they fucking get you. Okay, so then this person, the problem with this now is now the soonest they can come to do it, as when it was Friday, now is like 30 days after I call. I'm like, well, I talked to somebody and they said that I could do it on Friday. It's like, oh, I don't know, I can't see that on this opening here. The nearest one I have is next fucking month. I'm like, you are the sole provider of cable in this fucking state.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that if somebody calls you, you gotta wait 30 fucking days to get cable plugged in?
Yeah, but it's a monopoly. But there's no regulation. They're not a regulated industry the way XL or utilities are.
So guess what I did instead?
What?
Said, you know what, Comcast? Don't ever call me again. I don't want your fucking cable. You can roll it up real tight, stick it up your fucking ass. I'm stuck with you for internet, unfortunately. There's nothing I can do. You will never get a fucking dime out of me after this day. Yeah. Except for the internet I gotta pay you with. I will be switching as soon as I can. Yeah. But as long as you're the only one, fuck you very much, goodbye. Then I went and got a Chromecast. You know this Chromecast thing?
Yeah, I love it.
You have it?
I had it. I don't use it really, but I had it, yeah.
Oh, I got two.
Yeah.
I love a Chromecast. Unfortunately, my TV, too old. Doesn't have HDMI.
That's old.
It is old. Yeah. But you know the thing about TVs is they never break. You just have it forever.
Yeah.
So I have this giant-ass fucking TV. I wanted you to come over to help me move it. But, you know, it's okay. I got Dash to come. Yeah. Anyway, I had to buy a whole new TV. I bought a whole new TV for $300. I bought two Chromecasts. I guess to say one. Two isn't necessary. I bought two Chromecasts just so I don't have to pay Comcast for cable. Yeah. And now I pay for Hulu and Netflix. Yeah. And Comcast, fuck you very much. Yeah. That's how far I went to not fucking use you.
Yeah, we got a Roku stick, the little $50 ones.
Roku, yeah.
Yeah, same shit.
Chromecast only $35.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
It's great. Yeah. I looked at Apple TV, Roku, and Chromecast. Yeah. Turned out Chromecast is the cheapest.
And you can stream from your computer now.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. I'm a big fan. So that's Comcast. Fuck you. Now, while we're on talking about Comcast, I want to talk about net neutrality. You say you know a lot about it.
I know a good amount about it.
Why don't you tell us about it first? Because I'm really confused.
All right. So, right now, basically the way it works is that the internet is an open medium. You know, you can get to any website you want. You can put anything you want on there, you know, in the sense that it's legal at least. And there's nothing blocking you or restricting you. At least there shouldn't be. But recently, over time, companies like Comcast, like Verizon, basically internet service providers across the nation, have been restricting data to channel it, to funnel it to where they want to go and where they don't want it to go. So what the way they do it, is basically that, let's say, this is the common one you hear, is people using Netflix a lot, you know? And Comcast is going, well, shit, why am I paying so much for this guy to use all this Netflix? Netflix is getting the money. We're not getting any extra money. This guy's using all the data, you know, all the data. We're paying for this data. So they go, we'll slow down their Netflix. Now they can't use as much.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is that a fact, though? Is that proven?
Yes.
I feel like that's speculation.
Proven. In fact...
we're going to throttle Netflix IP traffic down on purpose?
Proven, yes.
That's a fact.
A fact. They've admitted it even.
Alright, that's fucked up.
Not only have they admitted it, there's been... there's a guy recently who did this whole thing. He's paying for some ridiculous amount of speed, of, you know, megabytes per second or whatever. And he goes, I'm not getting even close to that. This is fucked. So he went through, he basically did this whole thing. Don't ask me about it because I don't know. But he routed around the Comcast, you know, the way they're sending him the data. So he basically cut out the middleman of Comcast and plugged directly into Netflix's server.
I want to do that.
I don't know how. It was pretty next level shit. I can show you the article.
Okay.
And his speed skyrocketed. You know?
Sure.
Just for Netflix.
Okay.
And then Netflix was even putting out stuff saying, you know, sorry we're going so slow, Comcast is slowing us down. And Comcast sued him over that. They said you can't say this about us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
how did that suit go?
Well, Netflix stopped doing it. They just said we won't do it. So they
you gotta step up to those motherfuckers.
Well, so here's the big problem. Is basically, so back in the day, cable used to do the same shit in a weird way. Cable would say, we show what we want to show. You can't make us show anything. And the FCC, you know, passed a law saying, well, you got to at least show basic cable so people can get free basic cable. You know, people can get PBS and get Sesame Street for the kids and shit. And the Supreme Court said, okay, that's fine. You can regulate cable, because it's very important for people to get this information. The free flow of information is very important, right? So cable can be regulated, and it set the precedent for the way the internet should have been regulated. Because Comcast is a cable company, right?
Yeah.
They can be regulated to this extent.
Okay.
Over time, the FCC has passed a bunch of weird laws and changed the way they deal with internet companies, internet providers. Mm-hmm. And it has made them basically exempt from the kind of treatment the cable companies are getting. Right? So they can't regulate them the way they regulate cable companies.
Okay.
So they're saying, we want an open and free internet. They passed a law called the Open and Free Internet thing, and it got challenged in court, and it got struck down. So this is the reason that you'd think the government would say, no, you can't do this. All information should pass freely. And Comcast goes, no, we have First Amendment rights. This is what they say. We have First Amendment rights to pick and choose how we provide our content. So if we want to restrict something, we can restrict it.
So Comcast is saying they can, yeah, okay.
Yeah. They're saying we're First Amendment speakers.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking weird. It's a weird thing.
Let me tell you why it's weird.
Tell me why it's weird.
It makes more sense that cable providers are First Amendment speakers. Because when you look at cable channels, there's 600, 700 cable channels, let's say.
Okay.
If you want to offer a cable package, you pick these channels and you offer the channels. There's a limited amount of content, right? If I want to offer you a Starz premium cable package as a cable provider, I'm giving it to you. I'm selecting and choosing. I'm an editor. It's called editor function.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, they're saying that we're First Amendment speakers, we being the cable companies, the internet provider companies, because we pick and choose out of the internet, the flow of the internet, what we want to offer you. The difference is cable companies have, cable, there's only so many cable channels. There's infinite amount of access and information on the internet. I'm not picking and choosing. You're selectively plugging leaks in a boat.
Okay.
So you're not a speaker. You're not an editor. It makes no sense for them to have First Amendment rights.
Well, I mean, are you still an editor?
What are you editing?
Like Netflix. Edit it out.
Edit it out.
Yeah.
But you're not. So you're saying that if I say no to this, you have First Amendment rights.
Well, I don't think it's different from the cable company in that case.
But then
you're picking and choosing what you're not going to show.
So I'll give you some credit there. They are somewhat picking and choosing.
Yeah.
But here's the problem with what they're doing. They want it both ways. And what I say by that is Comcast and Verizon, there are these laws that say you have to be a neutral network provider and we won't punish you for things that you're putting out. So for example, let's say Comcast as a cable or as an internet provider lets something go through that is copyrighted.
Or child porn.
Or child porn.
Okay.
Well, then wouldn't we come after Comcast and say, well, you picked to put this in. You're an editor.
Because they have editor rights.
Yeah, you're an editor. We'll punish you for it.
Because a cable company can't put out child porn.
Nope.
Because they are picking.
Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting.
But there's these laws that they claim the protection of as a neutral, distributor of content, saying, well, we don't actually pick our content. We're just funneling it. We're the middleman, putting all this stuff through. So they're simultaneously claiming we're the middleman. We're just only doing what people throw at us. So don't charge us for putting out kiddie porn or whatever else the fuck is out there. But we are selectively picking our content, so we have First Amendment freedoms.
Yeah, that's fucked up to do that.
Yeah.
Well, then they should be getting sued for all the pirated content.
Exactly. They want to have it both ways.
Okay. Well, okay, this is a different thing. I mean, this is definitely an aspect of net neutrality, but this is not what I'm confused about.
What are you confused about?
I'm confused about the idea that Comcast is, wants to charge Netflix money.
Oh, the tiers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, tiers.
Well...
But Comcast wants to say, okay, if you want Netflix, you got to pay more. If you want Hulu, you got to pay more. And they're, pricing all the services differently.
Yeah.
And people are mad about this at work. It's a huge thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm confused why that seems fair to me. Because it's okay, let's compare Comcast as an internet provider to my electric company who provides electricity.
Yeah.
If I'm a guy that has 6 refrigerators, they should have the right to charge me more money.
Yeah.
Because I suck more electricity. Yeah. Now, I don't know what is bandwidth. I'm confused completely. When I take more internet, I don't know what expenses they incur.
And I don't either.
There's something there. I mean, there's some money involved in giving internet to me.
Yeah.
So if I know without a doubt that I use more internet than anybody in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I pay $80 a month like everybody else. We all pay $80 a month.
Yeah.
Now, why is it unfair that Comcast would charge me more money for more internet?
Let me tell you why everybody's upset about this.
Well, because they will be charged more is why they're upset. Yeah. I know that. I don't want to get charged more. But as far as from a fairness standpoint, it makes sense to me.
It makes sense. It's fair.
Yeah.
Right? It's fair in the sense that you're using more, pay more.
Right.
Here's the thing. The internet is an incredible medium, right? And as a societal argument, we want to be able to exercise the medium as great as we can. The reason Facebook exists is this thing called the virtuous cycle, is why people say the internet is amazing. Is because the way the internet works right now is there's a low input cost. Almost anybody can pay for cable, right? Or for internet.
Yeah.
Right? You get in, you build a product, an app, Facebook, you build, Twitter, you build your website, agreeordie.com.
Yeah.
And it's easy for you. And then other people can get in easily, and they can get access to it, and they can grow and flourish, and they invest money, and then you get bigger, and then you invest money, right?
Yeah.
And it keeps growing, and allows for these companies that wouldn't be able to get in anywhere else to flourish.
Yeah, it's great.
It's technology, innovation, culture. It's what why the internet has seen such a growth in time, why we've seen such a creative growth in industry and technology so quickly over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
What will happen is if you say that you want to use more, you got to pay more. Is that these small startup companies won't be able to pay more. You think Twitter, once Twitter blew up, would have been able to pay the amount of money that it would cost to keep Twitter going before they could get bought and get sold?
Well, that's not the user, though. Twitter's a provider. Like, if the user gets charged more money for using Twitter...
Well, the argument is that it's hurting the internet. It's hurting the whole point of the internet and making it basically useless.
Yeah, well, that argument is a little bit silly to me, because then cable should be free, too. It should be free. You should be able to make a show on cable because you can get more people to watch your show, and then you can watch... If everything was free, everything would be the world would be amazing.
But it's not free.
Well, it's not free, but the thing is, my neighbor uses no internet.
So right now, if I said to you tomorrow, you got a bill, you've been using a lot of internet. Your internet's not $250 a month if you want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
You'd be okay with that. Your site.
I'm in a weird spot. I would not be okay with that because it's 3 times more than I pay. Yeah. I'd be pissed as fuck. Yeah. But from Comcast standpoint, if the electric company does the same thing, if I buy a refrigerator, my bill's going to go way up.
But the electric company doesn't do the same thing because the electric company is a regulated entity that is regulated by the government. They can set price ranges, price caps. It can say you can't abuse certain discretionary charging methods.
Well, they should do that, but the bottom line is if I buy more refrigerators, my bill will go up.
Related to how much energy you're
Exactly.
using. But related at a reasonable cost.
Okay.
There's no regulation in the they're a private company that has a monopoly. They can charge literally whatever they want.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up definitely. But it's okay. I don't know what Netflix is. I don't know how it works, but as somebody who doesn't use Netflix, I have Chromecast now. I use Netflix constantly. Yeah. 100% of my TV watching is direct streaming HD video from Netflix. Now, I remember back in the day when you couldn't just stream video, and I would download hacky sack videos that were 1 minute and 30 seconds long, and that would take a day. You know what I mean? I would load it, and I would go outside and play, and then I come back at the nighttime, and my video was loaded, and I could watch it. Nowadays, somebody who doesn't have Netflix, they must use way less bandwidth than I do. I use way more than them. Yeah. So let's say I pay $100 a month instead of $80 a month or $150. I have no clue. Yeah. I don't want to be abused, but I definitely understand 1 gigabyte equals $1, or whatever the price is, and you just charge you based on how many gigabytes you use. To me, that seems very fair, and from Comcast standpoint, completely reasonable.
But there's no transparency. I can't trust this company because, in fact, they wouldn't even agree in the whole law that was passed. They wouldn't even agree to be transparent about their pricing structure.
Well, yeah.
And how can
Comcast, a motherfucker?
And here's the most embarrassing thing: is how can Google Fiber come in and say, "Oh, you're getting 25 megabytes per second for this price. We'll make you charge half the price, give you a gigabyte per second."
Well, I think Google taking a loss on that though.
I don't think so.
I think Google's just doing that because they can flex.
But they're also they're being smart about it. Is they're saying, well, we have Google products through the internet. You access our products when you have faster internet more, so we get more money.
Well, Google's got that would almost be
Comcast.
There's a synergy.
Comcast has television shows. They have stuff they produce and throw out there. They have the synergy too if they did it right. But what they're doing instead is saying, we're gonna funnel from away from you and into us.
Well, to me,
so they're controlling the product and the distribution.
This is an issue of Comcast being a piece of shit.
Exactly.
That's an issue, and that's something that, you know, I don't think that having the government step in and make a law that says internet costs $80 a month. Well, and they're not, but like people want it. I mean, right now internet costs $80 a month. Comcast is saying, well, we want to charge you $5 more for Netflix, you know, or in this case, they're charging Netflix the money. I'm kind of confused what the fuck's going on.
Netflix is doing back end deals to say, look, just stop blocking our content. We'll pay you more money if you just do it faster.
Okay, all right.
So it's basically racketeering.
That's just all fucked up. It's all fucked up.
Yeah.
What I think is okay, what I think is fair, is to say a gigabyte costs this much money.
Yeah.
And we'll charge you based on how many gigabytes you use. A data plan, a cell phone data plan. I think that is a reasonable way to deal with the internet. I mean, that would definitely cost me more. It would certainly cost me more. Because I'm getting away with a lot right now. You know, when I'm downloading, uploading videos, downloading shit, I'm going nuts. And I will be charged more. But that seems reasonable to me to charge people more for using more. And as the internet gets more and more extreme, I mean, there's some kind of a cost there. And Comcast, fuck them. I wish we had more competition.
But there isn't.
I wish Google Fiber would come in here. I do, but I don't want the government to get involved too much because that's also fucked up.
Before Comcast and Time Warner really recently merged, right? They're merging. Before Comcast and Time Warner merged, so I don't even know what the number is now, the top 4 cable companies in the world, or in the nation, provided 85% of the service in the nation. Mm-hmm. There are no choices. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, free market, whatever, you know, like that's great. But when there's no regulation, there's no transparency, and this is your only option.
You know, I would agree with any and all transparency laws. I think that's what we.
That was all the original law said was, don't restrict without telling us. You know, or just be open about what you're restricting. Transparency. Mm-hmm. Don't in general don't restrict. Let the stuff come through. There wasn't even stuff about charging or how much you charge. There was nothing about charging. It was don't restrict, don't block, and be open about what you are doing. You know, so at least people know. That's all the law said. And they got it thrown out of court on a technicality, basically.
Put it back in court. Get it back in there.
They are. That's what's been going on.
Okay.
But recently they redrafted it with this whole back end to allow the back end deals. So they're not charging you more for your internet.
They're charging Netflix more.
Yeah.
But then Netflix will charge me more to pay for that.
Possibly.
So that's
but the problem is exactly what I was talking about earlier, is that the small startup companies, let's say you people can't even access your website because it's so slow. And you go to Comcast, like, I want to pay you.
And they'll give me $100,000 a month, and I'll let people get your site.
Yeah. What do you do? What's your option?
I mean, I couldn't do anything.
You couldn't do it. You're fucked.
Well, why would they do that to my site?
Because why not? They can.
They can block everything but Comcast content.
Yeah. Let's say tomorrow you blow up.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I hate the government getting involved, but I also hate getting bullied by some motherfucker like Comcast.
If it was an actual free open market, but that's the thing. The internet used to be a free open market. You know, it used to say, buy what you want, go to what you want. You know, the good stuff goes up. The good stuff gets bought. The good stuff gets, sold up. But now Comcast is saying, well, no, you go through us. You know?
So what do we need? We need good government-provided internet.
You need either good competition.
Good government internet.
I don't think so. I don't think the internet, or the government needs to provide the internet. But the government needs to say, Comcast, you got to at least be open about what you're actually doing. You know, you got to tell us what speeds you can actually offer, how much it costs, how much you're being paid by these other people, what you're restricting, how much you're restricting it. You know.
How do we get competition though? No one can afford to become Comcast. No one can join in. I mean, Google can do it, but no one else can just we're startup fucking internet provider.
They're a monopoly right now. They got to break up the monopoly. That's the problem.
They got to cut Comcast in half.
There are antitrust laws that exist.
I remember back when I was in middle school that Microsoft one was happening. I like how that was nothing compared to what Comcast is now.
Nothing.
That was nothing compared to that.
No. Microsoft was such a small piece of the market compared.
Yeah.
But look at that whole thing with Microsoft probably is what let Apple even flourish.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But the point is, there needs to be something different than what it is now. Because right now, it's just a big fucking bully with nobody saying
I'm just trying to be careful not to jump on the bandwagon. I don't want to pay more, so I'm not for it. I'm not for it. I mean, it's nobody wants to pay more.
I know what you're saying.
But it's reasonable to charge people more who use more. That's a very reasonable stance.
And they're saying you can charge more if you want, but you got to tell us why.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's good.
At the very least.
Well, I mean, I hope Comcast loses, and I hope Google Fiber takes the whole internet.
Yeah. And this First Amendment argument is fucked in its own end, but...
Well, it is fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, but let's jump away from that for a bit. Maybe we can get some questions about that, send some emails.
Let's talk about it. Hey, Yuri's a law student, so almost a law professional.
Almost a law professional. If you're looking for...
Let's talk about ties.
All right, let's talk about ties. This is more
let's take it on a different level. Let's talk about ties. Now you're in law.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I'm into knots.
Mm-hmm.
I tie a lot of knots. I got a lot of different kind of knots. How do they fit into your career as a law person? Could you wear a knot that isn't a Windsor?
Depends on what field and what you're doing.
What are you doing?
So right now I'm working for the county right now.
Can you wear an Eldridge knot?
Probably not.
Tell me why.
You're working for the government. You're in really serious situations, right? And you got clients you're representing, or you're talking to people who are in tough situations typically. If I show up with a pink tie in a cool fun knot, and I say, hey, listen, let's talk about your life, and they go, who the fuck are you?
You don't want to be flamboyant.
You don't want to be flamboyant. You want to look serious because you want to look like to these people.
You want to even look somber.
You want to look somber, yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously, right? Like, and granted, like if you've got a private firm and you're doing intellectual property, let's say, right? And somebody comes to you and they go, "I've got this new startup. I want to trademark it." Well, yeah, then you want to be the fun guy with the cool tie.
Yeah, okay. Who understands? You understand the hip.
Yeah, you're hip. You got an interesting thing. But if I'm working for the government, prosecuting criminals in trials or something, I don't want to show up in a fun tie looking with a weird knot.
Although I think that'd be a cool character.
It would be a cool character.
If you're like a prosecutor and you're like bright yellow tie, Trinity knot, like, hey, let's get this case going.
And I will say that maybe if you're well respected in the field, a little older, you could probably rock that. But starting out, it's a little tough.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's not. You can't just rock them. You gotta know your audience.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be a funeral director, fucking wearing a Trinity. That's not what you want. You don't want to. It depends on where you want the focus to go.
Exactly.
It depends. I mean, if you want to be like seen and you want people to recognize that you're dressed in a way that's unique.
Yeah.
Then you want to wear a knot that's unique.
Yeah.
If you don't want your outfit, like, lawyers wear very traditional outfits.
Yeah.
And that, is probably fine because it's not about the outfit.
Yeah.
They want to look like they're put together, but they're not trying to like, oh, look how fashionable I am.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. Have you worn Trinity knots very often? Any knot? Do you wear any kind of, not in law, just in general, in life? Let's talk about just wearing ties.
Yeah.
Do you wear Eldridge knots, any kind of knots?
Not really. Pretty much the only time I would knot up is for work.
I like that knot up.
Would be for work. And,
okay.
What I'm saying? Like for your wedding, I wore the fun knot, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It really does depend on the kind of law you work. If I were, let me tell you, if I were corporate law, if I was in corporations and like met with clients, I would love to do that. Because I feel like that'd be fun to meet with corporate clients and be like, oh yeah, listen, I'm with you, I know about this big wig stuff. I got the corporate knot, I got the fun stuff going on.
Here's what I run into a lot.
Yeah.
And I want to get your input. I have my videos up. People comment.
Yeah.
And they comment. The comments I get very often. I mean, the vast majority of my comments are incredibly positive.
Yeah.
And for YouTube, that's great.
Yeah.
YouTube is a cesspool of disgusting piece of shit that'll comment.
The worst.
They're the worst.
The internet in general, love you guys, but a lot of trolls.
A lot of trolls. Yeah. So YouTube's one of the worst. Yeah. But most of my comments are great. Wore this knot, it was awesome. But I get a lot of these.
Yeah.
Where they're like, if you ever go to a job interview with this knot, you will definitely not get the job. Don't ever wear this in a serious setting. It's a joke. Now, I mean, I know for a fact that's not true.
Yeah.
Because I've been in a corporate environment, and I know for a fact that isn't true.
Yeah.
But I'm only speaking for myself.
Yeah.
I know, like, I've been in meetings where we're hiring people. I'm not the one doing the hiring, but I'm involved in those meetings to see if it's a good fit for a company, and I'm involved. And nobody's ever worn a knot that isn't, traditional. Mm-hmm. But if we saw one, that definitely would be something we go, that's a really cool knot. Here's the conversation. Mm-hmm. The conversation is, that's a really cool knot you're wearing there. How did you learn how to tie that?
Yeah.
Can you show me how to tie it? Here's what the conversation is not.
Yeah.
It's them afterwards going, that was a great candidate, but that fucking knot he was wearing?
Yeah.
Can't hire him. Can't fucking hire him. That's never happened, and it never will happen. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to say a couple things about it.
Tell them.
If you don't want to wear the knot, go fuck yourself. That's fine. Nobody's making you wear it, If you don't want to wear a bright pink shirt, don't wear a bright pink shirt.
Don't wear
a bright pink yellow shirt.
You don't need to do it.
You don't got to do it. The fact that they exist shouldn't be your fucking problem. I don't understand these people who are commenting saying, "Oh, why even bother showing this?" Because people want to learn, because it's interesting, because it's fun, because it looks cool, because it could be the right thing for the right job. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're in any kind of new age modern industry, I think it's a fun knot to bring to an interview.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
If me and you were going for a job,
yeah.
Let's say we have identical people.
Yeah.
We're identical. We have the same recommendations. Yeah. We both kill the interview together, except for you were a Trinity knot and I were a Windsor.
Yeah.
We're the same otherwise. Yeah. You'll get that job. You'll fucking get the job. You know why? Because they're going to go, who are we going to hire? They're identical. He's like, oh, you know, that guy had a really cool fucking knot. That's why. They're not going to say, oh, that guy had a fucking stupid knot. No, they're going to say, you know what? That guy wore a knot that was... He put more time into, like, putting this knot together. Like, that's the only difference.
Yeah.
But which is better? Well, I think better is a knot that's cooler. It's a cooler knot.
I will say this.
It depends on the
industry. It's a problem. And lawyers specifically are an old-fashioned, backwards
lawyers are different.
Looking culture.
That's different.
Yeah. Lawyers are stuck in the past, and it's very slow progression. But I think in most jobs where you would wear a tie, I think it would be interesting. I don't think it's an automatic fail. I'll tell you that.
Certainly not.
I think if you wear it and just treat it like you're in a normal outfit, like you don't even know the knot exists. Mm-hmm. If they comment, great. But if you just do your job, your interview like you normally would, you're right. I don't think anybody's going to get fired from it.
They'll not notice. They'll either not notice,
yeah,
or they'll notice and they'll go, "That's interesting." Yeah. And they'll remember that knot.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, this happened to me at work. Yeah. This happened to me. Okay, so I do web development and so marketing at a company, software development. So I had a client come in. He wanted a new website built. Okay, and he was this older guy. He's probably in his late 50s.
Yeah.
Early 60s maybe. Okay, he's in law, old guy in law. He comes in. I'm wearing a Merovingian at the time. Mm-hmm. Wearing that knot with a vest. And I'm talking to him, talking about the website. I'm just, I didn't know the meeting, this is an unexpected meeting. I didn't dress up for this meeting. I just wear knots to work because, that's my thing. Midway through the meeting, he stops me and he goes, you know what, that knot you have is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, thank you. It's called the Merovingian. He goes, could you teach me how to tie it? And I go, absolutely, I can teach. I'll do you one better. I'll send you a link to my website, which has a video and a diagram. He goes, oh, that's great. So after the meeting, I sent him that thing. And he sent me an email back and says, thank you, that's really interesting. I like all your knots you have on your site. That's really cool. This is like a 60-year-old guy in law. He loved it.
Yeah.
I was nervous, too, because I was in the meeting like, this guy's going to think I'm a fucking clown.
Yeah.
Because he seemed like an old school kind of dude. He didn't think I was a clown.
You never know.
He did not think I was a clown. He thought it was cool.
I have a law professor in college, one of my favorite law professors of all time. He was a federal judge, right? This is a federal...
Serious.
Maybe
the most serious job.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, except for, up to the Supreme Court. But this is basically, like, you go through him to get to the Supreme Court a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Every day of his life, he wore a custom homemade vest bow tie combo stitched by his wife.
That's adorable.
And these bow ties and vests weren't, like, red or blue. I'm talking, one had saxophones on it. And this guy's the most serious guy. This is what he wore every day on the bench, every day in the classroom. It doesn't mean anything necessarily. And you're telling me that now, like, amazing guy. Grew up in the South, African-American gentleman, like, you're telling me that if, like, in the South, back in the day, African-American gentleman, weird knot, weird tie, weird vest, he worked out just fine. And you're telling me you can't get hired because you wore a weird knot to an interview? Probably because you're a shithead and your fucking resume sucks, honestly.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not those guys. It's the guys that are saying, don't wear this knot, don't dare wear it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, those fucking guys. Yeah. Shitheads, man. You know what? You gotta wear it. You gotta confidently wear it. Make it look good. And you're fine.
And bottom line, anything, know your audience.
Know your audience.
Know your audience, If you're going to a company where, do your research, like with anything. Before I do an interview, before I send in a resume, I always look up the website. I always look up what their culture seems like. I read about, people, and I think, what are they looking for in this company? And if you look for a company and they seem like fun guys, a little younger, fast forward thinking, you see young people in the pictures on the website or whatever, wear the tie. They might get you in. It might be interesting. But don't immediately knock it out because you think you're better. That's your first mistake.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's talk about this other thing.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up. I want to talk about this story I saw a while ago where Facebook was... you don't know the story. I'm going to summarize it for you and them. Mm-hmm. Facebook comes out with a study. I don't know exactly how it went, but they took a sample size of like 100,000 people. Mm-hmm. And they would they messed with their algorithm where they only showed them negative Facebook stories. people saying their dog died, their grandfather died, they got divorced, they got broken up. It was a negative feed.
Now, was it actually their feed?
Yes, they found some algorithm to find negative bias stories, and they increased the frequency of them versus positive stories.
Interesting.
And then they did this, and then the opposite of that with a different group, where they slanted it to the positive, and they cut out the negative stories and had more engagements and pregnancies and happy birthdays, more happy stories, new job promotions.
I feel like I might have been one of those people because I fucking am so sick of these engagements and
well, yeah, maybe it's your age too.
Might be my age too, yeah.
But so they did that with a pretty, for Facebook it's nothing, but 100,000 people or so, maybe more. It was a pretty good sample size. Oh, excuse me, a hiccup or something. And they did it to find out if that would affect people's like mentality and habits. And it turned out that it did. I mean, people who got negative stories were more negative about their lives. They felt more negative.
How do they find out how they felt?
Because they posted different things.
Oh, okay.
They looked at what they would post after having the negative like view of the world.
Yeah.
And it turned out they would be more negative or be more positive. I mean, it proves what's to be expected, I guess. I feel like those studies have been done before Facebook. But whatever. Now, the backlash of this is how dare Facebook do this to people? Like, this dangerous, whatever, or they don't have the right to filter the feeds that way, and that kind of stuff. Now,
now, can I jump in before?
Jump in.
Because I want an unbiased opinion. I haven't heard what you think of this yet.
Jump in.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know how you feel. I feel like, first of all, they already do that. Your feed is already filtered based on what they think is the most popular. You can do a timeline based on strictly what's popping up next, but if you want, you can do stuff that looks popular, stuff that looks interesting. They're already cultivating your experience. You've got ads on the right. They're already changing your feed. And if anything, you can also cultivate your feed. My girlfriend, for example, hates everyone. So she blocks anybody who annoys her. She's in a bad mood. She goes, this post, fuck this post. Blocks the feed. Can't see this guy's posting.
The person or just the one post?
The person. You can block a person's feed post going forward.
Right.
So that she does that, you can do that too. It's not like they're taking control away from you. They're just fine tuning it. I'm okay with it. You go now.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I have two things to say. The first thing is the backlash is completely misplaced. Okay. They're mad that Facebook is doing something to their users they're not being transparent about. And I mean, I guess that's a little fucked up. It's a little maybe immoral, but they never promised to do that. Facebook never said they will give you an unbiased view of the world. They never said that to you.
Let me just tell you something real quick.
Okay.
When you go into McDonald's, you know why McDonald's has all the bright colors? Why the walls are red? Why everything's yellow? Because studies have shown that those colors make you hungry.
Yeah, right.
Did you sign a permission slip for that? Did they put that on the walls when you walked into that company saying that they wouldn't fuck with your emotions that way?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that, so I hope we all know by now that Facebook is not showing you every post.
Yep.
Twitter does show you every post, and they're transparent about that. A Twitter feed is literally every piece of shit everybody says. Facebook does it differently, and they have an algorithm that picks and chooses. Now, yeah, for those 50,000 people that had a really bad week because everybody died in their Facebook feed, that's a shame. I mean, the uproar, here's why it's so misplaced. You shouldn't be upset that Facebook told you about this, because this should open your fucking eyes that Facebook could have been doing this forever. Now, imagine this now. Here's my scenario, and here's my concern. This made me think about this a lot. Let's say Facebook really wanted Obama to win the election. Let's say it was in Facebook's best interest for whatever reason. I'm just making this up. I don't know. Let's say Facebook it was important to them that Obama won and not fucking whoever. Who the fuck did he go against? I don't remember.
Romney.
Let's say it was really important that Romney did not win.
Yeah.
Because there was something that Facebook was afraid of that Romney would do.
Yeah.
Facebook could doctor their feed. They can put just maybe a 15% bias on positive Obama stories and a 15% bias on negative Romney stories. And that would be a considerable political donation to Obama's campaign. Like, I mean a fucking serious one. Yeah. Facebook's got billions of users in the world. I mean, in America, everybody has Facebook. Who do you know who doesn't have it? They all see the feed. Let's say every story was like, Obama was on Jay Leno and he was hilarious. Let's say you saw that story a million times. And what story you didn't see is Obama killed 35 civilians in Kosovo, whatever the fuck was going on. That story was kind of buried, but the positive story about Obama being a hip dude was up. Facebook can fucking doctor elections, guys.
I'm not into it.
You're not into what? That it could do this?
Yeah. And honestly, if they could do it, I don't care.
They could have been doing this whole time.
Every company can do it.
Yes, and that's my next argument is Google could be doing this. Like, if you think Facebook's bad, imagine what Google can do.
Yeah.
When you Google, like, is Obama, and you see, like, the results, Google could set those. They can tell you what those are.
Absolutely.
I mean, when it comes, like, who the American president is, that matters a fucking lot to companies like Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
That matters a fucking lot, okay? And if Google wants Obama to win, I think of everything in the country, I think Google has the most ability to make Obama win. And I literally mean make him win. They can make a president win easily based on what public opinion is. Who's more responsive to public opinion than what Google results are? Nobody is, man. Google results are fucking public opinion.
So what do you want now?
I don't want anything. What I'm saying is, when Facebook published these results, that should open everybody's eyes to go, you know what? Facebook is a fucking small-time player compared to what, like, the search engines determine.
I think that's fair, because I'll say this. I think that the biggest surprise to me about this is that people aren't aware that every company is doing this. Every company has a spin. Every company has the potential to do it. You know? The reason they don't is because they don't want to be called out by the market. And if you're smart enough to get around it, I guess that's fine. But, like, companies can do whatever they want for the most part. You know what I mean?
Google's algorithm is completely black boxed. I work with search engine optimization, and there's companies like Moz. Moz is a company that all they do, well, not all they do, but one of the big things they do is try to stay ahead of what Google's doing and understand what they're doing. And Google makes an update. Like my website, Agree or Die.
Yeah.
Google will make an update that'll make my website just completely plummet in ratings. I have no clue what they did.
Yeah.
I have no idea why that happened. But for some reason, right now, my website's just, like, nowhere. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm making this up. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But it could happen. And, like, your website was just, you have no clue what happened. You can't ask them what happened. They won't answer you. They don't have to answer you. So, like, Google, honestly, is way too fucking powerful. Okay? I mean, so far they haven't done anything too fucked up. But for all I know, the reason Obama's president is because Google decided they wanted it that way. And the next election, whatever results Google, like, if you're a guy and you want to learn more about your candidates, say the next two candidates, Obama's not going to be there, obviously. Say it's, Hillary Clinton and fucking, who the fuck else? I don't know. That fucking fat New York guy. Who's that guy?
I don't know.
He's got a female name. Whitney? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever the two candidates are next election, I want to learn more about them. I Google, is Hillary Clinton a good candidate? I literally Google that. What I get out of that is Google's choice. They can pick what I see when I Google, is Hillary Clinton a good candidate for president? They can fucking shank her right there. They can say, oh, well, here's like the weakest blog post about why she's good. And then I Google the other guy, and they're the strongest. Then when I'm done reading all of them, I come out going, well, okay, obviously she's a bad candidate.
Well, then why let me ask this, wouldn't the Republicans win every election? Because they're always open, right?
I don't know if they would or wouldn't. I don't know what Google. I mean, I have no clue. If straight up Republicans are better for Google, then yes. In that case, yes, absolutely.
Well, less government regulation. That's what Republicans are all about.
I can't. I don't know that granularly what Google wants.
Fair
you know
enough.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Google has like.
I also think though you're putting a lot of stock into the power of subliminal advertising.
It's not subliminal.
Well, it's subliminal if you're saying that if you're affected by it enough that you every time you type in Obama is and you're seeing Obama is great, Obama is wonderful, that you're not even bothering to look into actually why, and you're just saying, well, I saw the word Obama is great a lot. I think I'm going to vote for that Obama guy.
I mean that was one example. I mean, if you actually make a search for Obama's policy views, and then you see blog posts that are positively spun about Obama being great in certain things, and they're underplaying the idea of like bombings and citizens he's killed, or I don't want to rag on Obama. He's president now.
I think you're putting too much power into this too, because like if I look that up, Obama's political views, you're going to get an unbiased like Polyfax.
Don't say unbiased. How do you know that?
You're getting Polyfax.
What do you mean Polyfax?
Polyfax is something
law term.
No, Polyfax is like a website that like any claim a politician makes, it analyzes everything they say about it. It goes through the history, it goes through their voting, and it says true or false? Is this a true statement or a false statement?
Oh, nice.
And it that's the number one thing that comes up when you search.
That's great. I mean, it's not like Google's not going to be obvious about it. They're not going to be obvious
No,
if they're
that's what I'm
doctoring
saying.
shit.
If they're not obvious, you're getting subliminal shit.
Well, I mean, if the top result's Polyfacts, but then the next 5 are slightly biased Obama opinions, that's still, it's not subliminal, it's propaganda.
No.
It's not subliminal. What's the difference when in Russia right now, our boy Putin, he can just kind of determine what news is out there. He gets to choose what news Russians see.
Yeah.
He picks. In America, Google picks. We like to think that Google's not picking.
But so does the CNN picks and Fox News picks. I mean, Fox News is the same situation,
well,
right?
You're sort of right. You're right. You're 100% right. They pick.
Yeah.
However, we all know Fox News is a Republican station.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
We don't know Google's a Republican internet fucking search engine. We don't know that. We like to think that Google's unbiased and they only bring results based on an algorithm we don't understand. But if the algorithm is 50% what Google wants and 50% what's random, then Google's definitely they can... I'm not saying they're doing it, but the fact that Facebook did it, and they do it all the time, Google could definitely do it. And if there's a politician who's like, I'm going to fuck with Google a lot. I'm going to fuck Google up when I'm president. Google's going to go, well, we kind of don't want that guy to win. So how about we fuck with the search results? And they could do that. And we need to start thinking about that kind of shit. As a community, as a nation. We need to start being
what's
careful.
your solution? Government regulation?
Shit, man. I always hate government regulation, and that's not my solution. My solution is have more people use Bing.
Why can't Bing do it then?
They can do it.
Yeah.
And I just want... Google right now is 85% of the search market, which pretty much means they own 85% of the internet, which is a lot of power they have. And I want them to have less power. I mean, I'm a big Google fan. I love Google Fiber. I use all their services. They do the best. They're the best at what they do in every... Gmail is the best. Fucking analytics is the best. But at the same time, they're so fucking strong that it's really dangerous. They have way more power than nations do. They're more powerful than nations. And it's just a company. And the only thing a company does is want to make fucking money. So it's pretty dangerous because Google likes to pretend they want to care about the users and they care about that, but really they care about money. And it's a dangerous thing. I don't have a fix for it, but I'm glad that Facebook published this. It's not because I'm mad at Facebook or because I'm appalled, because it opens our fucking eyes that anything that has a lot of users, they can do whatever they want with the feed. The feed is up to Facebook.
Here's my solution.
Tell me.
Be a smarter human being.
Well, how can you be? When you Google something, what are you supposed to do?
You don't Google it. Don't trust one source. You really give a shit about the presidential election. You really care. Google it. Then Bing. Then Yahoo. Then watch the news. Then talk to people. Then fucking look up a book. Read a goddamn book.
You're asking a lot.
Am I?
Yeah.
Why?
People want time for that shit.
If you care that much, make time.
Yeah. I mean.
And if your solution is, I don't even know why they're Googling it if they don't have time for any of it. You know what I mean?
They rate the top three stories.
Yeah.
And those top three stories
The newspapers.
Yeah. The more invest.
Is it? You're saying that who are these next in line at Polyfacts? Then you're gonna get the New York Times. Then you're gonna get CNN. Then you're gonna get the Washington Post. The top posts are still going to be the most popular. The most popular when you're talking about presidential elections are still going to be these main historically popular things. You're not going to get some random blog post from some guy in fucking Boykin.
No, but the New York Times has had negative Obama stories and positive Obama stories.
Yeah.
They had both.
Yeah.
So if I Google something general about Obama, they could bias the negative stories up from the New York Times.
Yeah, but the bias stories are going to be either old or the new stories. So your theory is saying that either they're writing new stories every day that are biased and positive.
Here's all Google's got to do.
Yeah.
They have an algorithm that gives, say, 1 to 100 to anything on the internet.
Yeah.
1 to 100.
Yeah.
They give a 15% bias to positive Obama stories and a negative 15% bias to positive Romney stories.
Yeah.
So you'll still get the same Google. But there's just a 15% slant on positive Obama stories.
Now, what happens if that story gets leaked?
That they've done that?
Yeah.
Then there'll be a bunch of blog posts about it, and Google can't be held accountable in any
What do you
way.
mean? It's game over then.
It's not game over at all. What, like it was game over for Facebook when it leaked that they did it to users?
I think most people don't care. But if it was the presidential election...
How would they... I mean, okay, A, how would it get leaked? And B, they would deny it.
How did all the CIA shit get leaked to Snowden?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to give enough of a fuck that they think it's wrong, and they leak it.
Well, maybe we'll get...
I personally also... I don't trust Google. I'm not saying I trust them. I don't think it's worth it for them.
I mean, maybe not yet. Maybe it hasn't been yet.
Yeah.
But if there's some serious like regulation on search traffic law, like net neutrality is a big deal for Google. If there's some kind of thing that affects them by $1 trillion, they're gonna give a shit. And they could give $1 trillion donation to the right candidate, or they could sway public opinion like completely. Google can fucking sink a guy. Reddit. Reddit. Reddit's a powerful site too.
Yeah.
And during that whole, this happened. This is a story that happened. The Chicago bombing. That Chicago Marathon?
Boston Marathon.
The Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
Boston Marathon bombing.
They put the wrong guy out.
Somebody, it wasn't Reddit's fault, but somebody on Reddit posted, here's the guy who did it. And then that was upvoted 1,000,000 times, and then that guy's life got fucked.
Yeah.
And that was Reddit. That was an accident.
Yeah.
Imagine if Reddit did that on purpose. They could do it on purpose whenever they want. And it's nuts. They could just... let's say some guy talks shit about Reddit, and Reddit's like, here's a story about this guy who put a gerbil in his ass. Front page.
But...
that guy's life is fucked now. Now he's got phone calls, he's got people sending him boxes, he's got people on the internet making fun of him all the time.
I mean, it sounds like what you want regulation.
I don't want that. I want people to be aware that... there's nothing I want. I have no changes to... I have nothing... I can offer nothing to this.
Yeah.
Except for... Facebook's the fucking least of your concerns when it comes to who's controlling your internet usage. When you Google something, that's not just arbitrary. That's all I'm saying. You gotta fucking have your eyes open.
Well, I think it's at least good to be brought aware of. And if anything, awareness is the number one thing I think to push here. Is be aware that not everything you read, don't take everything for face value.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Think twice about what you're doing and why you're doing something. And don't fucking just do something because everybody else is doing it.
That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah. I think we should end it with a little positivity.
Are we ending it?
We're about an hour.
About an hour, 1 minute. Okay.
I want to talk a little bit. How about...
I'm out of brandy, too.
I'm out of everything.
All right.
Let's say tips of the week. Advice, things of the week, things we want to push, things we like.
Oof.
Today, here's my push.
Really put me in the spot.
Well, I'm going to go first. I got time.
Okay.
I saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
A movie, a show, a game, whatever you're into right now, right?
Yeah, okay.
I saw Guardians of the Galaxy today. I loved it. I thought it was the most fun. Every now and then, I see something... I read a book, I see a movie, I watch a show that reminds me why I love it. Why I love the medium. When I was in the movie theater today, I remembered why I love movies. I had so much goddamn fun today. It was just a fucking...
That's what you saw today?
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right.
It's what... Do you remember that feeling you had, and most of you probably will, if you were a Star Wars fan at any point, when you wanted to go see the prequels, and you were like, I want to see a fun adventure, I want to see fun characters, I want to see a good time, and I want to see a great story. What you wanted to see in the Star Wars prequels, which you obviously didn't because they're fucked, is what you would have seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. Fantastic movie. Loved it. Hilarious. Dramatic. Interesting. I thought it was great. I especially love, let me tell you, me personally, I think characters make a good movie. I think characters are the number one thing you want in a movie. Plot can be good. I love the characters in this movie. I thought they're all fantastic. I thought everybody, the connection of the whole group was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. You don't have to have seen any of the other Marvel movies to know what's going on. It has very little to no connection. It does work in the larger story, if you want to keep going through it. But you could really see it and catch up later and you won't have missed anything. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. You got any questions about it? Anything you wanted to bring into it?
No, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I never heard of who these people are. I don't know what this is. Is a Marvel group?
It is a Marvel group.
Who went under the radar this whole time?
Yeah, they're because I looked.
There's a raccoon in it.
There's a raccoon, and played by Bradley Cooper, kills it. Bradley Cooper kills it as a raccoon.
A raccoon.
Vin Diesel's a big talking tree.
The tree. Yeah.
Only he's got 3 lines. He kills all the lines. Yeah.
Why Vin Diesel? Why are they gonna pay that guy all that money?
Know. He the only words this tree says, the tree's name's Groot.
Groot.
And he just says, I am Groot, with different inflections the whole movie. Vin Diesel though, he's got a history of this. He was, have you ever seen the Iron Giant, the cartoon movie?
No.
It's a cartoon movie where Vin Diesel plays like an alien robot, like a giant cartoon alien robot.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say any words.
What?
He just mumbles and says his kid's name with Elliot. Elliot. But he's amazing. I don't know how to explain it. You gotta watch the movie. If you've seen the Air Giant, you know what I'm talking about. He's got more emotion in this weird mumble
That's great.
than anybody I've ever met.
Vin Diesel.
Fantastic. No, I really liked it. I highly recommend it. Guardians of the Galaxy is some weird cosmic team that has some popularity in the comics, but I hadn't heard of them before I heard the movie being announced. But I love it. I highly recommend it. So, what's your deal? What are you into right now? You're into Naruto lately, right?
Man, I'm into Naruto. I don't want to talk too much about Naruto because not that many people are into it. Well, tease what? Tease what?
Talk about whatever you want.
Look, Naruto's a cool show. If you like anime at all, if you like cartoons, if you have kids, get into Naruto, man. It's on Netflix. I mean, Hulu. It's on Hulu. The whole thing's on Hulu. It's about 800 episodes.
Yeah.
So you got a ways to go. But look, it's great for kids. It's got a lot of cool stuff. The video games are all awesome. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's just like, if you don't know it, you don't give a fuck. But it's a cool show. I'm into it really hardcore. There's a new game coming out September 1st. I'm watching the show. I love it. Let's tell me about the podcast here. We got a podcast.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you think. Give us some topics to talk about. What you want to know our opinions. Talk about whatever. Comment. I want feedback. This is our first one. We don't know anything.
Questions. We're still messing around with how we want to structure the show. Today was kind of a free for all. How just basically stuff that's on our mind. But
we should try doing one where we get really drunk first.
Oh yeah.
Do the whole thing.
You know what I was thinking? I want to do a big chunk of a section, Expendables 3 review.
Oh shit! Yeah, we gotta watch that fucking movie.
But basically, our idea is big stuff that's in the news, pop culture. Movies, games, comic books, video game, whatever your...
Young adult life.
Young adult life,
Young adult men life.
The good shit. Ties, fashion.
So here's my free tip is if you have a girlfriend or wife, go on plan something special for them.
Do something nice.
You know what? Go back to when you first started, how you get that excited butterfly feeling. Capture that again. Yeah. Plan a surprise date. Okay, a surprise date. For your special someone. How about that?
On the other hand, I'm going to throw the opposite advice to you, but still the same advice.
Treat her like shit.
No. Really, just tell her she's fat. I love that. No. If you can't think of what she's not the kind of woman who likes surprises or she's unpredictable. Give her a special day. Do something that says, "Hey, honey, this Tuesday, what do you want to do? What would you like to do? We'll go shopping. I'll stay with you. Whatever you want. Tell her it's going to be her day. Do it with her. But the point is, be together. But either way, do something nice.
You're a sweetheart. Let's do a little toast to the women. To the women.
To the women.
To the women.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. And if you don't have a woman, then you're fucked. Get one.
Maybe rock a nice time.